I called my mom up and I asked her and I said, okay, Mom, what actually happened to me? And that's when she really started telling me that I was an ectopic pregnancy baby. Up until then, I was always under the assumption that, you know, I just had medical complications, and that's why she had to get. She see, my mom had a complete hysterectomy because when she gave birth to me, she had already had one of her tubes removed, and previous to her conceiving me, she had had a miscarriage, 2 months actually, in December of '73, and I was conceived in February of '74. She was told in actuality that she was never supposed to be able to conceive a baby again anyway. And so I was kind of a surprise. But right around the, I would say, 6th or 7th month, because I was between 6 and 8 weeks premature, so she started having problems, and that's when she went into the hospital. And I was delivered premature, but before that, they had recommended for me abortion. They had wanted my mom to abort me, and she said no. And that in and of itself, because that's one thing, when she did tell me about that, and I used to think about that all the time. And I really was grateful to my mom for the fact that she did not abort me. They wanted to abort me, but her words were, if my baby have to die, then I will too. And when you think about that, to me, it brings to mind the scripture where Jesus said, no greater love has a man than this, than a man that would lay down a life for his friend. But in this case, it was a mother willing to sacrifice her life for a child. Another thing my mom did was, as a baby, I was dedicated to the Lord. I don't know if it was because of my health issues or why. And there was a word that was spoken over me as a baby that I would grow up and speak the gospel, preach the gospel, which I do. I have a radio show on Sundays. But my motivation comes from the fact that I know that God had a purpose for sparing my life. I'm still seeking that purpose, but I know He had a purpose for my life. What I can say is that make sure you get all options. Do not listen to the first thing that is said, oh, this baby is not viable. Make sure you have a doctor that is willing to pursue all avenues before he or she pronounces a death sentence on your baby, because it doesn't always have to be a death sentence.